This conference will now be recorded.
Now let's launch our Git bash. And our Git repository, our local Git repository, let's go to the local Git repository. I believe you all might have done some hands-on on this, right? This is our Git repository, local repository. So copy this address. Let's go to this path. CD, the path. Okay, when you do ls, you can see all the files. To see all the hidden folders as well, including .git ls-a. So we can see all the files and folders here. Yeah. And also let's see the status. Git status to see the repository, like what files were added to local and staging and all. So it says that file 2 is modified, right? So modifications, what we should do whenever we modify any file, yeah, it will be showing like unstable. Again, you have to add and commit like any other file, like for any other changes you did, like a new file, you have to add and commit. But the difference is we'll be seeing like not staged, means unstaged changes. So add the changes, git add and git commit. -m, let's say file modification, something like that, right? Or else we can also do one more thing. Let me edit this file once again. See, you can edit in any way. Okay, you can edit because this is my Windows machine. You may just, I'm using Notepad++ as an editor. So you may just open this way and edit this. Or else you may also edit from your command line. Okay, here from your command line. In Linux, generally we have an editor called Vim. Okay, Vim file1. You have an editor like this, right? So Vim is an editor in Linux. Let me show you once again. You have Vim automatically installed in Linux. Okay, how do you use this Vim editor to modify the files? See Vim and the file name you want to edit. If the file name, if the file does not exist, it will create and open the file in an editor. See, so this at the bottom you will see the file name. This is called command mode. Okay, but if you want to type anything, you have to go to insert mode. How do you go to insert mode? Escape I. See at the bottom you can see it came to insert mode. Now whatever you type in, you can just see whatever you type in here. See, this is a new text file. Okay, this way you can edit, and when you want to save it again, go to escape : okay, command mode WQ exclamatory means save and quit. Okay, WQ exclamatory means save and quit. All these instructions, all these steps of how to use Vim editor, all these were also available. Just learn opening the file and saving the file for now. You can edit in any way. Git is not bothered about how you edit, whether you edit through Notepad++ or whether you edit through the VI editor. Okay, Vim is Git is not bothered about it. You can edit in any way of your choice. So I'm just using showing Vim editor now. So it was saved. Now it will show us like Git status. Yeah, it can show you like unstaged. Yeah, because some changes were there. What should we do now? For not staged changes, what should we do?
Add.
You have to add and commit, or else you can do it in another way. Because this is not a new file. If it is a new file, what do? We add and commit separately. Like you add by running the command git add and commit by running another command called git commit. But because this is not a new file, you can do both of them in the same command this way. Like git commit -a means add and commit. First file modified, right? Okay. Okay, again it works the same. Git status when you see, okay, it was clean. So that's how you can modify. For unstaged changes, I'm just waiting for my pen. Give me a minute. Okay. See, for unstaged changes, okay, unstaged means it's not a new file. Okay, already file is there, only you have modifications. So what you can do, you can do it separately like git add and then git commit. Or else you can also do with a single command like git commit -a minus anything you can do for unstaged changes. Unstaged changes means it's not a new file. Okay. Or else for untracked file, what if it is untracked? Untracked means new file. Then you have to do it separately only. Git add and git commit. Making sense, everyone? At this point, you cannot do git commit -a -m. Only for unstaged changes, not staged changes. Means file is not new file. For that, you can do either ways. But for this one, you can do only separately. Got it clear, everyone? Understood? So remember this, untracked and unstaged changes. We have discussed about what is untracked and unstaged changes yesterday, right? So, yeah. And let us look into one more interesting scenario. We are having a couple of files and check the status. Okay, it was all clean. I just want to create one more file. Okay, you may use Vim editor or Notepad++, or you may use simply touch command, anything. Editor is not our importance, because if your developers are writing the program files, they might be using some other editor. Okay, as a DevOps person, we may be using something else. So you may edit as per your interest, as per your convenience. Okay, I'm just creating a simple file using touch. Another creating one more file, that's all. Okay, now I'll have a file. I would also like to place some content. Some dummy lines I'm placing. If you want, you can write some programs, or you may write some configuration, some scripting, whatever you are interested into. Here our interest is not about the content, so I'm just writing some dummy line. So file 3 has got some line added. Okay, now let's add and commit the file, because what should it show? Is it an untracked or unstaged change? What will be the status message showing us?
Untracked.
Untracked, because it's a new file, right? You can append or you can overwrite, Amit. Anything you can do using Vim. It's just an editor, like using any Notepad++, what you do the same way. Untracked file. Okay, you can see that there is a file. Okay, because it's a new file, I have to add and commit separately. Now check the status. Okay, it was all good. Okay, just added another file, that's all. We did this earlier also, just added and committed one more file. Now I just want to edit this file once again. I may want to add one more line. File3 file3.txt. A new line, edit. I'm adding a line. Let us save this. Right? So it's having some unstaged changes, right? So if, to see the unstaged changes of the file, you have a command called git diff file name that will show you the unstaged changes of the file. File3.txt git diff. Do you see that? Here you can see this is actually the existing line. This is the unstaged change, right? It was showing with a plus symbol. Plus means this line was added. If you remove anything, it will be shown with a minus symbol, right? This is the unstaged change. Can you see that? So this is another command, git diff file3. Okay, this will be showing you the unstaged changes of the file. Got it, everyone? Any questions? Ignore this. Okay, this is only in Windows you'll be seeing it. It is nothing to bother about. Okay, it's a Git verbose. There's nothing to do with this warning. So again, if you want to commit or if you want to put them into staging area, add and commit. Okay, let me do one more thing here. I'm going to edit this file once again. File3.txt. Or else let me do one thing. Okay, there were unstaged changes, right? I'm adding this. Add dot means everything, all the files will be added anyway. Whatever in the working directory will be added. I have only file3 modifications, so I can also do git add dot. So you can see there were no unstaged changes, isn't it? No unstaged changes, but it's having staged changes. So at this point, if you do git diff file name, will it show anything? Will there be any output? Are there any unstaged changes now? Unstaged changes means
No,
changes in the working directory. Do we have any unstaged changes now?
no.
No, right? So let's see. See? No output. But now it's having staged changes. Am I correct? Changes in the staging area. Yep. So to see the staged changes, git diff staged flag. Do you see that the same line was shown as staged? Got it? Suppose I just want to edit once again. It was running the commands a bit slowly. Okay. Right? There were only staged changes. There were no unstaged changes, and we have seen that. Let's suppose I just want to modify this once again. Now tell me, is this file having unstaged changes now or not?
Yes.
It is having unstaged changes. How to check the unstaged changes? Git def file3, right? See, the third line is unstaged. This file is also having staged changes. Am I correct? See, second line is staged. Third line is unstaged. Means some changes I have staged. Later on, I made some other changes which were not staged. Correct? What you can do at this point? At this point, you can just, when you see the status, see, you will see changes to be committed. Means where is the file?
Staging area.
Staging area. And also it's saying changes not staged. Means where is the file?
Working directory.
Working.
Working area means the same file is shown in the staging area as well as in the working area. So don't get confused. Okay, it was showing this because of simple logic. Like some of the changes were staged. Later on, I have again modified it, so there were unstaged changes. So whenever you see this kind of message where a file is shown both under staging area and unstaged area, don't get confused. This could be the scenario. Simple logic, that's all. So what you have to do, if you want to only only commit the changes, git commit -m, okay, some message, okay, so that some dummy message, whatever, only whatever changes in the staging area will be committed, but these will be left over. Okay, but I want to both add and commit. I want to move everything to local. This will work. Got it, all of you? Or else if you just want to add them, you don't want to put it into local repository, git add file name or git add dot will do. Understood? Any confusions? So I want to move everything. So git commit -a -m, let's say file modifications or whatever. Right? Clean. So that's a simple logic. So again, you have to understand, can a file be both in a staging area and also in the working directory? Yeah, this could be the reason. Yes. Certain changes. File means some modifications might be there in the staging area. On the same file, some other modifications might be in the working directory. So in that cases, the file will be shown both in the same file can be shown both in the working directory and also in the staging area. This could be the scenario. This is again another important question. Any questions in this case? Suryateja, I already answered your question. That is just a verbose showing in Windows. Okay, we have nothing to do with it. Warning LF replaced by it is shown in Windows only. It's we have nothing to do with it. Any more questions? Git status. It is all clean and we are 3 files. So let us take up another scenario now. See, till now we are creating a files and we are modifying the files, isn't it? We existing files we are modifying. So whenever you create a file or whenever you modify a file, we were adding and committing the changes. Correct? So like I said already, Git works with respect to changes, whether it is a new file or whether it is a modification, it works the same. Similarly, deleting the file also, because at a later point of time, you may have to delete some files, right? So how to delete any file? Let's see. Let's suppose at a later point of time, I realize that I don't want this file. Okay, let's see how to do that. Git rm. Okay, that's a command to delete any file. Let's say git rm file2.txt. I'm deleting this file. I don't want this file anymore. Okay, ls. Okay, you don't have file2. Let's check git ls files also. There is no file2. Means git rm file name has deleted the file both from working directory and also local repository. It deleted completely. Also at this point, if you do status, it says that changes to be committed. It means whatever changes you made will be on the staging area. Or like we make any modifications, you have to add and commit. Similarly here also commit the changes. See, you made some change. Okay, the change is deletion. Commit the change. Deleted the file. Check the status now. Yes, it shows everything is clear and clean. You don't have file to anymore. Right? This is one way of deleting the file, both from working directory and local repository. And there is also some other way to delete the file, like git rm cached file3.txt. Okay, what this command will do, this will delete the file only from local repository, but it will keep it in the working directory. But why do you need this kind of a thing? Why should you delete from local repository and keep it in working directory? See, let's take a simple scenario. Maybe this file3 is like a document, okay, or else a project document, or else the notes you have taken for your project. It's for your understanding. It's a kind of personal note, okay, personal notes, or else a documentation of the project, something like that. You don't need to version control it. You don't need to put it on a repository, right? But still, you want to keep it in the same folder because it's related to project. I just want to keep it there, but I don't want to put it in local repository. So, but initially I have placed everything. So now I want to delete it. So that's where I can use this git rm cached. See, it's still in the working directory. I do have the file, still I have the file. But if you see git ls files, yeah, do you see that? It's not there in the local repository. Also, like any change, when you make any change, you have to add and commit. So it says changes to be committed. Okay, commit the changes, git commit -m deleted from local repository only. Okay, perfect. Now if you see status, why it is not showing like everything is clean? Why is it showing this file3 untracked? Why is it so? Anyone? Earlier also it was showing this. Why so? If you can answer this question, means you have understood thoroughly. Think and answer. Why are we seeing this message?
Because it is in working directory, so the file is not tracked.
File is not, yeah, exactly. It is in the working directory because we have deleted it from the staging area, isn't it? We have deleted it from staging area and local repository, but still see it's in the working directory. We didn't add and commit. So Git cannot track it. It's like again like a new file. Correct? It's again like a new file. When you create a new file, it would be showing like untracked file, right? Same way. Because see, I don't know, for some reasons my pen is not working. Just give me 1 second. I think I have to restart, but let me try using this. See, this is the folder. Okay, this is nothing but your Git demo folder. Means this is your local repository, right? This is your local repository. Whatever you place it in this local repository, whatever you files, whatever folders you have here will be tracked by Git, isn't it? So if you just keep the file and leave it without adding and committing, it will keep on informing you. It will keep on messaging you saying that add and commit so that Git can track it, right? So whatever files and folders here will be tracked by Git always. Okay, so that's why it was showing us this message, because file is there but we didn't add and commit. It keep on showing us because that's a local repository. Git will be keep on trying to track it, but I don't want to add and commit. Like I already said, okay, it's a documentation, it's some project document, it's some personal note, or else it might be some log file, or else it might be some executable .exe file, or else there might be different use cases, right? Or else it might be a document which need not be version controlled. Okay, or else it might be some email copy or some report. Okay, whatever it is related to the project. I want to keep it in the same folder, but I don't want Git to track this and show me this always. Okay, so meaning I just want Git to not track this file, or else I want Git to exclude this from tracking, exclude this file from version controlling. But because this is a local repository, Git will be keep on tracking each and every file and folder there. But I don't want Git to track, or I want Git to exclude this file from tracking. Is that possible? What should we do? Can we tell Git not to version control certain files? Yes, tell
Git
me.
ignore.
We have something like git ignore, right? Meaning we have to create one more file like git ignore. So go here, create one more file called git ignore. Okay, you can use Vim editor because it's a Windows, like already said, you can use any editor of your choice. Today I'll show you one more editor which is more widely used. Okay, as a DevOps person, this editor will help you a lot. Okay, we are using this editor a lot in real practice as a DevOps person, as a developers also. Anyone can use this editor because this editor supports most of the languages, almost every language I can say. And also nowadays companies are also looking some hands-on, some familiarity with these editors, which is nothing but Visual Studio Code editor. How to download it? It's pretty simple. Let me show you. My system is a bit slow today. Kindly cooperate. It's loading. Okay. It's nothing but Visual Studio Code editor. If it is unlike online interview, or else they are asking to launch your VS Code editor and write the config files there, either Kubernetes or Terraform. So better you get used to it. It's very good editor. It's very simple. Okay, you can go to the first one, the official one, code.visualstudio.com. Okay, just here you will see download. Download this. Once you download, again you will see it is downloaded. Just double click and open it. That's all. You don't need to install it also. Just launch it. Double click and launch it. I'm just checking if I still have the VS Code editor. Can you see that? Okay, you will see an application. It is a type application. You can just double click and launch it. You don't need to install it. Just double click and launch it. And I have added to my taskbar this way. So just double click. That's all. There are no multiple steps or complexity in installing this. Launch the editor. I have added to my taskbar. See, you may be wondering, this VS Code editor is for Windows. How can you use it for Linux, right? For Linux systems also you can use it. From my Windows, I can connect to any remote machine like a Linux machine on AWS or on GCP or Azure. Means this VS Code editor can also help you do remote editing. To make it more simple, as we go by, we are going to create instances of Linux, right? In Linux instance on AWS. To that Linux instance means those files in Linux can also be opened from this VS Code editor by remote connecting. Okay, we'll see that later. For now, let's make it simple. So this is the editor. This supports different languages and whatnot, lot of scripts and all. So just go to File, Open Folder, whichever folder you want to open. I just want to open this one, right? Okay, so you can see our files. Okay, when you just click, you can see the files. This is again another best method to edit your files. Also, you can run Git bash commands also here. Go to terminal, launch the terminal. See at the bottom, this terminal window launches. These are simple text files we have created. This is a PowerShell, a Windows PowerShell. If you want to use Git Bash, you may use PowerShell as nothing but command line windows, or else here you can choose which kind of terminal you want. I want Git Bash. Because Git Bash is already installed, see whatever I see here, I can also run commands from here. Isn't it so good? Yep. Okay, so Git status. Okay, same way, like whether you run it on Git Bash separately or here in VS Code Editor from the terminal, anything is fine. All right. So yeah, it was showing this, but I don't want. See here, it was untracked file. It's showing with U symbol. It's okay now. Yeah, I want to ignore this file. I don't want to track this file. You can create. See in this folder, there's a Git demo folder. Create a file. Or else you can go to the folder, create or that way also you can. Okay, the file name should be .gitignore only. Okay, give this file name. Now put the file names whichever you don't want Git to version control. I don't want Git to version control. File3.txt. Likewise, you put the list of all the files you don't want to version control. Or else in real scenario, okay, we'll be using the gitignore in our Devops project. For example, let's say there's a Terraform project. Okay, we'll be using so many Terraform config files. But there might be some state files in Terraform which stores all the sensitive data. Those state files I don't want to Git to track because I don't want to push to remote. I don't want Git to track them and place it on remote repository. So I can ignore those state files of Terraform this way. Similarly in Ansible, okay, all the sensitive data, all the files which have the credentials or any sensitive data can be ignored this way. Okay, we are just learning the concept here. As we progress, we'll be using the same git ignore for our Terraform project, right? So that you will see the how they can be used. For now, yes, I don't want this file3. So put the file name. And let's say, okay, there are so many files. In a project, there might be some reports automatically generated. There might be some log files. I don't want, I want all the log files to be excluded from version controlling. So star.log. You can use some wild characters like this. Star means anything, everything. Everything with extension .log will be ignored. That's how you can add to git ignore file. Okay, done. Now check the status. See, immediately when you created it, there is no U here. Do you notice that? It's okay. If you don't have this editor also, we can check through git status. See, file3 is no more tracked. Do you see that? File3 is no more tracked. .gitignore is tracked because .gitignore is after all another file. Okay, you have to also add and commit this file. It's a new file, so add and commit separately. Git add and git commit -m. Let's say ignore file created. Okay, now check the status. It's clean. Here also you can see there is no U symbol. Everything is good. File3 is still there in the directory, but it's no more being tracked. Interesting, isn't it? And the importance of this ignore, like I said, to ask Git to ignore certain files from track. Dot means all, anything, everything, all files, whatever in the working directory will be added, will be staged. Any questions here? Is this clear for everyone? So that's about git ignore. And yeah, by now we have done many changes, lot of commits. So you can check the log, git log one line if you see. Oh, it's a one line, not online. Okay, so yeah, we have done a bunch of commits. All the commit history can be seen with the log command. See every commit ID and the commit message beside it, so that maybe at a later point of time when you see, okay, you can understand what this commit is doing. Right? So that's how you can check the log. Now let us take up another interesting scenario, reverting. What is meant by reverting? See, suppose you have made some changes. Okay, let's suppose you made some changes, you have committed it. You want to undo the changes. What is meant by undo? What is meant by undoing?
Reverse back all the changes that you have done and put the file in its original status.
Yeah, see, basically, yeah, correct. Let me start from the basic. Like, what is the dictionary meaning of undoing? Reversing the things, isn't it? Like, let's suppose, okay, you have created a file. So undoing means delete the file, isn't it? Or else you have deleted a file. Undoing this means the file should be created back. Am I correct? Right? That is what is undo. Similarly, you can undo any commit ID which is called revert. Okay, so let's suppose you have made some changes there. You can revert it so the changes will be back. Let's suppose you have made some commit A. You want to undo. Okay, you revert. Whenever you revert, another new commit ID will be generated. Let's say B. Okay, let's say in commit A, I have created a file. Okay, commit B, I have reverted it. New commit ID will be generated. File is deleted. If you want to get it back again, revert this B. So another commit ID C will be generated and file will be back. Understood? See, there is a commit A, you have reverted it. So commit B is created, file is deleted. Again, you can revert this. Okay, any commit ID can be reverted, right? So again, it is at this point, file is back. Okay, see, revert and commit works in a similar way. How they are similar, revert and commit? See, revert and commit. Reverting means you undo the changes, isn't it? This will also generate a commit ID. Commit also generates a commit ID, right? And whenever you get a commit ID, because whenever you do revert also commit ID is generated, you can revert that revert again. Whether you call it as a revert ID or commit ID, whatever it is, you can revert it again. Okay, let me show you. What is all this? Let's see. See here, let's take this commit ID. You can see ignore file is created. I want to revert this. How to do that? Git revert that commit ID. Sorry. Okay, now what happens? Yeah, let's see. Run this command git revert. See, it will also ask for some message. It's opening an editor. Go to insert mode, type some message. Let's say give some message like a commit message you have, give some revert message. Reverting ignore file, deleting ignore file or something, whatever it is. Okay, just let's give this message. Let's save this. Okay, so it says one file is changed. Can you see at the back end? There is no more ignore file. It's okay. Let's see git status. See, again file 3 is being tracked. Why file 3 is being tracked? Because ignore file is gone, ignore file is deleted. Do you see that?
I have a question. So after git revert with commit ID, are we adding the reverting ignore file, the message,
Yeah.
how we are adding it?
Whenever you run this command, automatically an editor opens. There you can just put whatever message you want. When you run this command, it's opening an editor for you where you type in this. That's where I have typed it. Saved it. That's all. We'll do that once again. You can observe it. So git revert. The file is no more. So file 3 is being tracked. And also above all this, like I said, every revert will generate a commit ID. Do you see that? This is the commit ID generated with the message I have given. Suppose now I want to get ignore file back. Can I do it? Is that possible? Can we get the
Yes.
Yeah.
file back?
Yes. Yes.
Which one should I revert?
The first one,
The
the
recent.
revert ignore file.
One. Exactly. So see now what happens. Whenever I run this, it will open an editor. Observe this now. Do you see that? It launched an editor. Escape I, go to insert mode, like you edit a Vim editor. Here type in whatever message you want. Okay. So here I want, let's say, reverting again, ignore file, whatever. Okay, save this. Just edit this message properly and save it like a Vim editor. Okay, done. Now see, another commit ID might have been generated. See, there obviously yes. Okay, and at the back end you can see here ignore file is back, but anyway, do ls. Okay, it is a hidden file, so ls -a, yes, dot git ignore. Also git status, file 3 is no more tracked, right? Simple way of reverting any changes you make. Let's suppose you have committed them, at a later point of time you want to undo them. Okay, that's where revert command comes in. Okay, whether you want to delete it, you deleted the file, you want to get it back, or else you made some modifications, you want to undo them, that's where the revert comes in. These are all the commands which help you to manage your project, manage your files, right? Like you want to maintain the log of the changes you are doing, or else you want to edit them, you want to delete them, you want to modify them, create new files. This is how you manage your repository. Let me show you one more interesting thing. Can I go ahead, or any questions here?
One question.
Tell me please.
Actually, latest commit ID you should take, or in between any commit IDs?
Anything, any commit ID you can revert. Not only latest, anything you can revert.
Okay.
See, we have some bunch of commit IDs now, right? Now let us take up another scenario. The scenario is, let's suppose, okay, I have done some commits. See, remember one more thing, we are still on our local repository. We didn't go to remote yet, right? So, okay, fine, we are in local repository. I'm working on this repository from past few days. Now I realize I don't want the latest commits which I have done, the latest 4 commits I don't want. Okay, or else I don't want the latest 7 commits, whatever it is. Means if you just want to discard some commits, that's where another command called reset comes into picture. Reset means it will discard the changes. Means discard the changes means it will remove them from the log history. Also it will delete, it will remove all the changes whatever happened during those commits. And this reset, you cannot undo any random commit. You can have to undo only successive commit IDs, latest commit IDs, like successive 5 commit IDs, successive 6 commit IDs, or successive 2 commit IDs, and so on. Means let's suppose, see, notice one thing, there is a pointer in Git called head. Head is a pointer in Git which will always point to the latest commit ID, which will point to the topmost commit ID in GitHub, in your repository. Okay, this is the latest or the topmost commit ID. So head is a pointer which points to this commit. But now let's say I just want to undo these two. Undo means I want to reset. Reset means they'll be deleted from the log history, as well as whatever changes happened there will be removed from the log history. And you cannot get them back. Changes gone are gone forever. It's not like a revert. So what is the difference between revert and reset? Reset will not generate a commit ID. Because it will not generate a commit ID, you cannot get them back, isn't it? Because if it generates a commit ID, we can do revert and get it. But no. Whereas revert will generate a commit ID, so you can use that to get the changes back. But that's not the case with reset. Means when you do reset, changes gone are gone forever. Whereas with revert, even though changes are gone, you can get them back. Okay, that's one reason, like no commit ID is generated and you have to reset successive commits only. Here, any random commit ID can be reverted. Okay, that's another difference. And reset is not used regularly. Okay, it's not a command which you use very frequently. It's a very rarely we use. If you are very sure that, okay, you are very sure you don't want these commits because requirements were totally changed and you are still in your local repository, those changes were not pushed, then you may do reset. But revert, yes, you do very frequently. Okay, maybe daily, whenever you do anything, if you just want to get back, you can most widely used. You can use this revert. It's a very safe to use revert. Okay, but reset, you should be very careful doing it. It's very less used. Okay, so that's why it's called destructive command. Destructive command and very powerful command. Okay, it's not that every time, each time when you don't want, just go and destruct, because log is there, wiped off from the log history completely, right? So that is what is reset. Let me show you. See, git reset hard. You can do it in multiple ways. I'll show you. Git reset hard. Suppose I just don't want these two. If I delete these two, which will be, where will be the head pointer? At which commit? This one, isn't it? This becomes a topmost. So you can do this way. Git reset hard the commit ID where you want the head pointer to be. See, head is now, head will be changed. That's what is reset. Now check the log. See, they are removed completely. Okay, whatever changes happened during those two commits were also wiped off. Okay, this is one way to do git reset hard, or else git reset hard. Suppose you suppose I don't want 4 commit IDs. You can just do this way, or else let's say I just don't want all of this. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, if I remove 8, this will be the head. Head pointer will be here. So I can give this commit ID, or else I can say head tilde 8. Means successive topmost 8 commit IDs will be wiped off. Understood the difference? You may give commit ID where you want to keep the head pointer, or else you may just give how many commit IDs you want to get wiped off. Okay. Now if you see the log, see only 2. Git status, right? Because that file 3, that's what we have done in those 2 commits, right? Got it, everyone? Understood?
Excuse me. Can I reset just one random file out of those 10 files from the middle? No, right?
File or commit ID?
The commit ID.
No, you cannot. See,
Only
always
from
firstly you have to understand Git works with respect to commits, not files. Okay, you cannot revert files, you cannot reset the files. See, understand the terminology here. Okay, we have nothing to do with the file. You can revert the commit IDs, you can reset the commits. Okay, random commit IDs cannot be resetted. Only the successive commit IDs you can reset. Successive 4, successive 2, wherever you want to keep the head pointer, that you can do. Yes, are you saying anything else?
So only the latest commit ID or the from the top latest to top 3, top 4.
Means
Only
successive. Okay, successive means continuously, like these 3 or these 4 or these 8, whatever. That way you cannot just go and reset this commit ID. No.
But hello. But
Yeah,
reverting a particular commit ID is possible.
possible. That's what I have written here. Any random commit ID can be
Okay.
reverted, but in reset, you have to reset successive commits. Okay, these are the differences between reset and revert, right? I just want to keep this log. I just want to commit this file again. Git commit -m. I want this file, so I'm adding it back. Okay, git status. Right, that's what a reset does. See, this is again a hard reset. There are also different types of reset. Reset is a far advanced concept. Like I said, it's a destructive command. It's very rarely used. Okay, as a DevOps person, we don't need to go to this extent of managing or using a reset, but let's have some idea. Okay, but we here like we are using reset hard. There are different types of resets. Like reset hard we are using. There is something like reset soft, reset mixed. This is far advanced, and like I said, maybe developers may be using it because they use this extensively. We don't need to go to this extent, but let me give you an idea, because there'll be a lot of confusion over this concepts, as this is a bit advanced concept. Let me just give you a simple flow chart which will make this concept very simple. Okay, let us try to understand this. Working directory, staging area, and local repository. Okay, so how can we differentiate this hard, soft, and mixed? Soft and mixed resets are not that destructive or not that problematic, because see, when you do hard reset, your changes will be gone from everywhere completely. That's why it's called destructive command. Your changes will be wiped off from working directory, staging area, as well as the local repository. Okay, you cannot get them back. Whereas with a soft reset, your changes will be still there in the staging area. I'll put Y. Okay, Y means yes, your changes are still in the staging area. They are only deleted from local repository. So if you want to get the changes back, what you should do here means, if you want your put your changes back to local repository, what should we do?
Add and commit.
Already in the staging area, you have to
Commit.
commit them, right?
Yeah,
So when
yeah.
you commit them, you get your changes back. So that's a soft. Mixed means like your changes will be here. They'll be deleted from staging area, local. So what if you want to get your changes back to local? Add and commit.
Add
Right?
and commit.
Yeah, add and commit. That's all.
Staging
Here.
area to local repository.
Yes. So that's all. That's a different types of hard, soft, and mixed. Instead of hard, you put soft and mixed. That's all. This flow chart, this diagram makes the concept very simple and easily understandable, right? You can just listen and leave it, or else if anyone interested, you can also try doing hands-on with them. Okay, when you do hands-on, some commits you do hard reset, then do soft reset, mixed reset, and see, observe what is happening. Your changes will be there in working directory, removed from staging and local. Just watch it out. Yeah, can you try doing it? Take this as an additional assignment or homework. See, first of all, in the initial days, do the hands-on on the commands, whatever we are doing in the class. Whatever we did today, all the commands, do the hands-on. First of all, do whatever we did in the class. Then you might be having some scenarios in your mind. You might be having some questions in your mind. What if we do this way? What happens if we don't do M flag here, right? Why should we use yum flag? What if I don't use yum flag? Try doing it. Experiment from your end. That's how you learn. Okay, and also try this scenario if you are interested. Instead of a hard, put soft and mixed. Okay, so check, try doing it. So that's about revert, reset, diff command. So what are all the things we have seen today? We have already learned adding, committing the changes, right? And we have seen diff command today. And then we have seen git rm command, right? Sorry, git rm. And then we have seen git rm cache, deleting. And then we have seen git ignore, using git ignore file. And then reverting. Give me a second. Okay, reverting we have seen, reset we have seen. These are all the basic commands we have seen. These are all basic commands in Git, but yes, of course, reset is an advanced concept. Others are basic operations you do in Git, okay, to understand whether what happened to the changes, to understand whether the changes are in the staging area, local repository, and then deleting permanently means deleting both from working directory and staging area. RM cached will help you delete only from local repository. And if any files you don't want to track, use git ignore, right? Create this .git ignore. And if you want to undo any changes, reverting. And if you want to undo, or else if you want to wipe the commit history from the log, you have reset. Wipe the commit history completely. Right, that's where reset comes in. You don't have that in the log as well, right? If you have some comments generated, we could revert it, but that's not possible with reset. So it's very rarely used, should be used this carefully. So these are all the different operations to manage your files. Then we have another interesting and very important concept called branching in Git. Okay, this concept is so important that we use in real time, and because of this robust branching feature in Git, of course, every version control system has got this branching feature, but Git's branching feature is so advanced, which helps you to maintain projects of any complexity, right? It can help you, or else it suits the needs of every project. You can maintain branches, you can use branching concept to maintain different versions, to manage different environments and so on. Okay, we'll talk about this branching concept and then we'll start the hands-on with it. So before I go for branching, any more questions? Shall we move ahead? Okay, so remember here we didn't go to remote repository set. Okay, we have to learn here all these things, branching, merging, and many other things before we go to remote. So remember, we are still in our local repository. See, always open your architectural diagram and keep it like you always relate to it. Okay, where are we? Where changes are happening? We are still in the local repository, right? So now let's understand what is this branch? What is branching in Git? Yeah. Till now we are making some changes, and whenever you run the status, you might have noticed here something like on branch master. What is this on branch master, right? What is this? Why is it showing you here? Also it's showing you master. See, master branch you can consider it's like a virtual directory in your local repository. Means Git demo is a local repository. In this local repository, you can consider this branch as a virtual directory, and whatever changes you make initially by default goes to the master branch. Means master branch is a default branch. It's available by default. Okay, whenever you create local repository, it by default have this master branch, and whatever changes you make are set to be in the master branch. That's called the default branch or the main branch. You cannot delete this master branch. Okay, deleting branches we'll discuss later. Okay, that's what is a branch, meaning like I said, you can imagine it like some virtual directory, okay, which is master. Here let's suppose, okay, you are working for some functional requirement 1. Okay, here you need to modify file 1 and also file 2. Okay, fine, you are making changes in this branch, it's all good. Now client came up with another requirement, functional requirement 2. Okay, here also you need to make changes to the same files, but of course you have to make modifications in some other lines. Okay, you are placing the same in the same, you are placing the changes in the same master branch. At a later point of time, they just want to push only the requirement, or else only requirement. Means they want to push only these changes to remote, or else let's say this requirement is for requirement 2 is for December release. This requirement 1 you have to push immediately in the September release. So how is this possible? Can you push these changes separately? Like September, you have to push them to remote. On December, you have to push them to remote. Okay, how do you maintain different releases if you put everything in the same branch? That's the first thing. How to maintain different releases. Also, if you keep everything in the same folder, same branch, at a later point of time, you cannot distinguish between requirement 1 changes and requirement 2 changes, right? Changes goes messed up. Or else, let's suppose there could be another scenario, like there are some bugs, okay? Immediately these bug changes should be fixed. So rather than messing up the existing branch, okay, you can create a separate branch and put all bug fixes there. So rather than placing all the changes in the same master branch, you could create another branch which is a copy of master. Meaning, let's say I'll create a branch called B1. Rather than placing requirement 2 here, what we can do, I'll put that requirement here. So that yes, this could be pushed separately, this could be pushed separately, changes don't get messed up. You maintain separate branches. Okay, this allows parallel development or simultaneous development. Okay, master branch coding is happening or changes are happening for requirement 1. Or okay, for B1, some other changes are happening. Or else, like I said, there is a bug fix, immediately they should be fixed. Create a separate branch for bug fixes. Make all the bug fixes here and push this separately immediately. So rather than doing all the changes on the default master branch, create a separate branch. Like I said, branch is like a copy. You create a copy from B1. So you get all the file 1, file 2, everything. But once you create a branch, they work like parallel entities. Means after creating a branch, whatever changes you make here will not be visible here and vice versa. They work like two parallel entities. See, to make it more simple, okay, let me explain in a layman terms. You can imagine branch is like a folder. Okay, see here I have some folder called, let me take a small folder quickly. Yeah, I have a folder called new field. Okay, let's suppose I'm writing here, I have a document here where I'm writing a story. Okay, I just got an idea. I just want to put a different climax. Means I have two climaxes, two ends I want to give to the story. Rather than placing in the same folder, what I'll do, I'll just create a copy of it. Okay, so now the story is same. Okay, but climax is not written. I'll give a different climax here. I'll give a different climax here. So now tell me, if I write something here, is it visible on the original one? If I make some changes to this folder copy, is it available here? Hello, I'm just asking folders. No, right? Means it works like a parallel entities. Here I may give some other climax, here I may give some other climax. It's like a two versions, right? If I like, I may provide both of these versions to the publisher, whichever they want, they can publish, or else both the stories they may publish. Means it's nothing but it's working like two versions. Same is the case with the branch. It can be also used like a versions. Okay, this is version 1. Means master branch is one version, B1 branch is some other version of the code changes or whatever, right? So this is what branching does. Branching allows parallel development. It allows some multiple features. If there is a new feature, you could develop in a separate branch. For bug fixes, you may have a separate branch, or to maintain versions, you may have a separate branch, or else to maintain a different environments like production environment, test environment, staging environment, you may maintain a separate branch for it. Right? These are all the use cases where branching comes in. Same way, like I had created copy. And this branching could be of could be maintained differently. Like maybe this is for a different environments like dev environment, staging environment. I may want to keep this branch permanently. Or else let's say because I don't want to mess up the original one, I have made changes here. And I can move those changes back to the original one and delete this later. Means temporary branching. Okay, I want to use up this branch as a temporary. It depends on the different use cases. Okay, these are all the different scenarios how branching can be used. You may maintain it permanently, maybe for maintaining versions or for maintaining different environments, or else I just don't want to mess up the one. I may create a branch, make changes there, move the changes back to original one and delete the temporary branch. That could be also the use case, right? So that's what is branching. And like I said, by default, you have a master branch. Okay, whatever changes we are doing on set to be on master. But yeah, you can create separate branches. First of all, if you want to see all the branches list, see Git branch master, because only one branch is available. And also star, there is an asterisk symbol, shows that you are on master branch. Because there is only one branch, obviously we will be on working on that master branch. Git status can tell you on which branch you are working, or else git branch command can list you the branches. Okay, now you can create a branch. How to create a branch? From master, from parent branch, you can create a child branch this way. Git branch, new branch name. I'm not creating now. New branch and the parent branch, so that it will create a copy of the parent, including the commits, including the files, everything will be created, and a branch by name new branch will be created. Okay, then you can switch to the branch, make changes and so on. Okay, we shall start branching tomorrow. Branching, merging means once you make changes to the new branch, how to get the changes integrated into the main branch. Okay, when you are merging, there might be conflicts, how to resolve the conflicts, what happens at the back end. Okay, those are all the interesting and advanced concepts coming up. We shall go through this branching concepts tomorrow. Any questions in this part? And then we have branching. Okay, branching, merging, merge without conflicts, merge with conflicts. Then we have stash, we have rebase. Okay, and then we shall go to remote repositories. Any questions or any confusions? Were the concepts clear for everyone?
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Till now, yeah, till now there is no doubts.
Okay, thanks for confirming. Do the complete hands-on. Okay, like I said, try experiment. If anything is in your mind, any scenario, try doing it. Any questions, let me know. Okay, you can post them. Any queries or anywhere you're stuck up during hands-on, but start doing your hands-on. Okay, that is all for today from my end. We shall continue from here in the next class.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Have a great day. See you all. Bye everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Preeti.